Imagine we're playing clans in Japan during the 1600s. We are taking control of either the Sanada clan or the Tokugawa clan. Today, in store, we have Rokumon, 100 years of samurai history. If you want to support BGG, go to their website and become a user. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek YouTube website and like their video. Click subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek Store, where you'll find board games, promos, accessories, and more. Okay, Rokumon is a two-player abstract game in which players are going to play through 6 acts and trying to have to gain the least amount of revenge tokens. Whoever has the least amount of revenge tokens will win the game. Alright, instead of going through setup and the how to play video and all that, I'm just going to go through the gameplay video because this game pretty much explains how to play as you go along. If you play in this version, there's 3 versions of the game you can play. The solo mode, which I may touch on in the final thoughts, I may not. And then you have either what I call the campaign mode, where you play all 6 acts back to back in one game, or you can break the 6 acts in the individual mini games and play them that way. When you play the individual mini games, they take about, 5-10 minutes. The whole game, all 6 acts, I'm going to say probably about 40 minutes or so. All right, so in this game, one player will be the Sedona clan, and another player will be the Tokugawa clan. And that is the last time I will say the name of those clans, so I do not butcher them. Okay, I'm not a Japanese-speaking native, and I will butcher them. So I will refer to them as the Red and Black clan, respectively. All right. The Red clan will start off with 4 warriors. The Black clan will start off with 5 warriors. All right, as you can see, they're double-sided, but we don't have to worry about that until the 3rd act. The setup will vary from round to round. The first round, the first act, we will take our 7 coin tokens here. We will give those coin tokens a shuffle. And the rule book says to place them face down in a row, in 2 rows of 3. What I usually do is just flip them over and place them face up. All right. You could do it however you want. This is just easier for me. All right. In the first round, we're only going to place 6 tiles. The 7th tile will be placed off to the side. It won't be used for this round. The first act, we can either deploy one of our warriors, meaning we could take it from our supply and place it on an unoccupied coin tile out on the board. Or we can move, meaning we would move our token from one coin token out to another coin tile anywhere on the board of a different color. Okay, so I could jump from the jade to the black and gold here color. Or I could have gone from the jade to this black and gold color. Now the object is to have 3 of your warriors in a row, or 3 of your warriors stacked 3 high. While I can move from one color on top of an opponent's warrior as long as it's on a different color tile, I could not, say, go from here to here and claim victory because that black player has a warrior on the bottom there. As I said, one of the conditions is to have them 3 high. They must be 3 your color. Okay, so if your opponent cannot make a move or take an action that round, then you would win the round. The loser of the round will gain one of these revenge tokens, which can be used for fighting. We'll see that in Act 3. But for now, we're not going to worry about it. So enough explanation. Let's just get into the game. All right, like I said, first round, we could either deploy or move. We don't have anything deployed, so we can't move, so we have to deploy. I'm going to go here with the red player. Red player always goes first. Don't remember if I mentioned that. All right, black player's up. Black player is going to go here. Back to the red player. Red player's going to go up here. Back to the black player. Pretty quick, this first one. All right. We'll go here because there's more green than black out there right now. All right. Back to the red player. Red player is going to go up here. Goes back to the black player. What the black player is going to do is he's going to deploy And now the red player will move and win this round. Okay, so he's got to go from here. Remember, you got to go from one color to a different color tile. Claim it on top. It's got 3 in a row. Red player won the game. Black player now takes one of these revenge tokens, place it face up in front of him. All right, now we move on to the second act. So we all take our tiles, our warriors back rather, off the coin tiles. We take all 7 of the coin tiles here, and we're going to give these a shuffle. Now, this time we're going to put all 7 out. We're going to have a row of 3 on the top and then a row of 4 on the bottom. Again, you could do this and then flip them over. I just flip them over and throw them out. It's up to you. Okay, so now this is going to be the setup for the majority of the acts going forward. That is the only new rule to the game, is we just have 2 rows of, we have a row of 3 and 4 instead of just the 2 rows of 3. Okay, so again, red player always goes first. He's going to deploy because there's nothing out there to move. Okay, we only have those 2 actions again this round. Deploy or move. Black player's up. Black player will go down here. Red player is going to go, and he's going to go here. So that will force the black player to deploy and go here. All right. Red player's up again. Now the red player is going to go here. So that next turn you can go up here. Black player sees this though. So the black player do is he will move over to here. Okay, and go on top of there. Goes over to red player. Red player comes out. Let's see. We're going to put him on the black. Over to the black player. Now the black player can deploy another one, or he can move one of these if he chooses to. Doesn't make sense. I do think he's going to move this guy though. He could deploy, like I said, but I think he's going to jump over to here to prevent the red player from winning that. All right, so it goes back to the red player. Let's see, what will the red player do? He's going to have to move, and this is the only legal move he can make. Again, we can't move on top of another color if it'll be the 3rd one on the stack. All right, so this is the only legal move the red player can make, is go to one of these jade tiles. Let's see, he'll go here. Black player's turn. And the black player is going to deploy there. Goes over to the red player. The red player has to move. And this is the only move that the red player can take. Goes back to the black player. Black player is going to deploy over to the red player. So the red player, the only move the red player can make is to move off onto one of these 2 jade ones here. And I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll go there. Back to the black player. And the black player will win this round by jumping over there. Got 4 in a row instead of 3. Okay. That's the end of the second act. Same cleanup. Take back all of our warriors. Pick up all of the coin disc and give them a shuffle. I gotta give the red player a revenge token. I forgot to do that the last round before we shuffled it up. Here's the new board. Now this act, the 3rd act, introduces the fight action. Okay, we could deploy, move, or fight. Now as we see here, our warriors have different values on the back sides of them. Okay, the red player has 2 2s, a 4, and a 6, while the black player has 2 1s, 2 3s, and a 5. Okay, take note of this one with the star. We'll get to that in a second. Now, as we're deploying and moving our warriors out here, say the black player stacked on top of the red player the previous turn. This turn, he wants to attack this red player, okay, the warrior. As you can see, we've been gathering these revenge tokens throughout the game. They have a +1 on them. What we could do is, before revealing what each warrior value is, we could say, we're going to play a revenge token with our warrior. Okay, the black player is playing a revenge token with his warrior there. Or if he had multiple of them, he could play multiple if they choose to. It's up to them. As many as they want to, or none. Okay, your choice. In this instance, we have just a +1. Then we would flip over the warriors. Okay, again, this is with the black player. Okay, now normally, so we didn't play this, but they just played the 2 warrior tokens. A 5 is less than a 6. The 5 would lose, Black player would take their warrior back and put it in their supply. Red player would win and, you know, flip the tile back over. Okay, however, being that the black player played one of these revenge tokens, which gives them a +1 to their fighting stance, it is now a tie. In this case, both players take their warriors, place them back in their supply. Okay, and then we would take this revenge token or any number of revenge tokens used for that fight, and we would place it face down next to our clan warrior there. Now, as we can see here, we have the black player with a 1 and a star on it. That is the only tile the black player has, the only warrior the black player has that can defeat the red 6 warrior for the red player. Again, these would be flipped face down so other players won't see it. I'm going to keep them face up so I know the values of them. Okay, so again, red player starts. We're going to take out this black one here. We're going to deploy. Black player is going to deploy also. He's going to go here. Gives them some options there. That way, red player can't go 3, but he may be able to. Over to the red player. Okay, red player sees that. He's going to go up here. Okay, I'm going to go back to the black player. We're just going to deploy. Go here. Over to red player. Red player has to stop that. So he's going to go there. Okay. Back to the black player. Black player is going to deploy. Up here, give him some movement. You know, as so far he could not move to any other color because he could only move to black because he's only on green. All right, back to the red player. So the red player is going to deploy. He's going to grab that last spot here. Okay, black player's up. Can't deploy, so he's going to move. We're going to move right here, and we're going to win the round. I want to show you a fight. Didn't happen. Maybe the next round. We'll see. It be like this. Wasn't really paying attention. All right, so that's the end of that round. You did not even get to see a fight. All right, moving on to the 4th one. Red player got that one. Okay, shuffle up. Now, as you can see, it's set up as the same as rounds 2 through 4, obviously. That's the round we're on. Instead of moving or deploying fighting, we can play the surprise action, meaning we could say it's a one-time effect for the round from 4th up. Okay, so surprise, I'm using the surprise action, flip this over. Then we could take a tile that we control, okay, and move it anywhere on the board that it connects to 2 other tiles. So we can put it here, we could put it down here, up here if we wanted to, wherever we choose to, as long as it connects to 2 other tiles. We couldn't do it like this where it's hanging out at the end there. It's got to be able to touch 2 other tiles. So that's the surprise action. So now we could move, deploy, fight, or surprise. Okay, so let's flip them over so I know who's fighting who if we do get into a fight. Hopefully I can show you that this round. Red player always goes first. I'm going to go right here. Over to the black player. Black player. Whoops. The black player. It's going to go here. Back to the red player. Red player is going to deploy. Over to the black player. Black player is in a pickle here. All right, the black player is going to move. He's going to move from here to here. Goes over to the red player. Red player is going to deploy here. Back to the black player. The black player has to deploy. Over to the red player. I'm going to go over here. Back to the black player. Let's see. Black player. He will deploy here. Over to the red player. Red player. I can pull the surprise and pull it over here. No, wait. I'm going to leave it over here. Which reminds me of the Code of Honor, which I forgot to mention. The Code of Honor is whoever has the most amount of revenge tokens, if they choose to, they can pull their last move back. Okay, and the winning player has to respect that. And the other rule is the winning player, if they are about to, win the game, win the round, they must announce it. Okay, sorry, I forgot about that one. All right, so we were at the black players. So the black player, he could do that. He's going to pull the surprise. He's going to go up here. And that will be the game, the end of the round. All right, so there's the surprise. Still didn't get the fight action in, but you'll see that the next round, I'm sure. So let's pull our warriors back and start the 5th act. We got a new rule for the 5th act, and that is a new color. All right. What the rule book suggests is you draw a coin tile, remember the number, shuffle that back in, and then when you place them out and you flip them over, the one you selected, you flip back in. What I do is I place a face up, shuffle it in with the rest of them as normal. Okay, and then I just deal them out like normal. 3 on the top, 4 on the bottom. Now let's see if we could actually get a fight in this round. All right. Red player is going to deploy. He's going to use the 6, the red one there, on the 6 on the red, just to keep his options open. Black player is going to deploy his 5. Where is he going to deploy it? He's going to deploy the 5 here. Okay, back to red player. Yeah, we'll go there. Okay, black player is going to take this red star, there's 1 star. Remember, that defeats the 6. It's the only one that defeats the 6. All right, we're going to place that here over to the red player. Red player is going to move from here to here. Back to the black player. Now, the black player does not remember what that is. It's a 5. Yeah, you know what? We're going to fight. So, black player chooses to fight. He could choose to use his revenge token if he wants to, which will give him a +1. He knows that's a 5. I do not know what the red player number is, obviously. But I know I haven't seen any warriors yet, so the 6 is out there. So at worst, yeah, he'll play the revenge token, and at worst, it'll be a tie and they'll both pull back. You know, at best, you know, he'll win, and he'll just lose the value of this later on. All right, so black player is going to say, yeah, I'm going to use that. Flip him over. You got a 5 and a 4, so he would have won without the revenge token, but he won regardless. Flip him back over. Now we flip the revenge token face down, showing we use it. Red player took his warrior back. Goes over to the red player's turn. Red player is going to deploy. We go here. Black player's up. Black player is going to deploy. We'll go here. Over to the red player. Let's see. Now the red player could move. He doesn't know what it's out there. You know, he knows this is the 5, the 4 and the 6 rather. Okay, 4, 6. Got plenty of revenge tokens, so I could pretty much win any fight, but I got to move into position first. So, now you know what? He'll just deploy. All right. So we'll go here. Okay, it's the black player's turn, and the black player could deploy or move at this point. I could go like this, but that wouldn't make sense. I always got that surprise action. So what I'm going to do is, I think he's going to deploy. Oh, you know what? It's staring me dead in the face. He's going to move, and he's going to win this round. Okay, 3 in a row. So red takes this one. Okay, on to the 5th and final act. So as usual, we will take back all of our warriors, and then we will take our coin tokens here, give them a shuffle. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip 1 over to reveal the backside out on the board. Place them 3 in a row, and then 4 in a row. Okay, now as you can see, normally up until now these would be face down, so you cannot see each other's warriors. However, in the 6th and final act, you would flip these face up so you both see what each other has. Okay, and again, red always goes first, so I'm going to put the red player out. We're going to take that red coin token there, gives them the third color option. All right, black's going to place his 5 out there and grab one of the few black tiles out there. Over to red will go, he will deploy. Deploy there. Back to black has to block the red player from deploying there. So he deploys there. Let's see, what does the red player want to do? He's controlling that. So, you know what, he wants to open up some movement options there. Over to black. Black's going to throw this one out. Alright. Back to red. Now red could deploy. Or she could move. And he will move. Alright. I got the 3. Didn't even get the chance to fight him. Red wins that one. Black takes the revenge token. And that is the end of the game. Now, whoever has the least amount of revenge tokens will win the game. In this case, the red player has 4. Black player has 2. Red player has the most. They lose the game. Black player is the winner of the game. And they are the shonen of Japan. Okay, Future Barry here. A couple things I didn't get to showcase during the game. Let's say we had a situation like this, where the black player was going to move here to get the win for the round, but he exposed a winning condition for the red player first. The red player would win, okay? The black player would get the revenge token instead of the reverse. Alright, so when you're moving, you know, watch how you move. You might lose the game unintentionally. Okay, so stay tuned for what me thinks. Okay, methinks times for Rokumon, not Pokemon, as it says so on the box. Alright, so Rokumon is a pretty cool little game, I think. Let's start with, let's get Grumps out here. Grumps would say it's an abstract strategy game. You know, he's played millions of them. Yeah, this one kind of impressed me, though. Alright, and I think that's all Grumps would have to say. I think that's really the only negative I found, other than, you know, with me in my hands, grabbing these guys are a little tough sometimes. I'm sure I could get them, they got, like them coin saver things, the plastic coin disc things. I'm sure I could get them later on. Help me grab them a little bit better. It might help the wear and tear on them if you plan to play this repeatedly, you know. Other than that, well, we'll get into the components while we're there. They're nice quality components, nice and thick. You know, I do like the artwork on the components. There's not much, but each warrior has its own little little picture there. You know, the warrior clan, the clan leaders both have their picture there. It's pretty cool. Even on the back of the coin tiles, okay. And Rokumon means 6 coins in Japanese, I believe, which is the price that the samurai would pay to their death god, I guess, to get to heaven, you know, the toll to get to heaven, or the afterlife, whatever they believe in. I'm not exactly sure what the Japanese culture believed in back then. Speaking of that, the rule book is really thick, but it comes in 2 languages, English and Japanese. It's laid out really well. As you can see, they could actually cut it in half if they chose to throw it into 2 different languages in 2 separate books. But as it is, it's like, I don't know, 32 pages front to back. Could be 15. It could be even less than that. It's just how they laid it out, and it is laid out well. It also gives you a history of both clans and the battles that each act represents. Okay. Let's see. So here, so while the rule book is thick, the rules themselves are only maybe 6-7 pages. You know, pretty easy to pick up too. I do like the rule book. It does have on the back. It has, you know, a glossary of where to go to see what you're looking for. You know, but it also, you know, kind of explains the actions and all that. It's kind of a player aid. I do like that. It even shows how you can set it up in the solo player if you choose to, which I didn't get into. The solo player, you set it up like a honeycomb type deal, like this. We'll randomize it a little bit, something like that. Then you would play as a Sedona clan, or as the Takagawa clan with minus certain amount of warriors against a dummy player, basically. And on the back page of the rule book, in both English and Japanese, the last page there, it'll tell you the steps that the Toramon, their dummy player, will do. All right, so you play as normal. The Torama's player would go through these steps, and then again, whoever had the least amount of revenge tokens at the end of 6 acts wins the game. So that's basically the solo variant. I haven't really played it that much. I do like the campaign play of the game as opposed to the mini games. All right. So I do like that. I do like that the game teaches you how to play through those mini games if you play the campaign back to back. Acts 1 through 6. I don't really like the mini games as much as I do the whole game. The whole 6 acts. So for me, the mini games are, while it's cool that they're little 5-minute games, I'd rather have all 6 acts a little meatier. You got something to build up to. I do like the different setups of the coin tiles here. Okay, that you have not only the 3 different colors, and they spread themselves out throughout the game. But the first round, you're only using the 6, and while you only have the 2 actions, move or deploy, kind of confines it a little bit, And then once you get over the tic-tac-toe thing, you can see the different moves you could make after the first or second game, in that confined area. And then, like I said, it just adds a little more complexity the next round with the more coin tiles. And then finally the third color later on in the game. I do like that, even though the Sedona clan is stronger, warrior-wise, their numbers, the Takagawa clan, sorry if I'm butchering it, has more warriors, and they have that one that, always can beat that 6. So it's not unbalanced in that way. It is open information, but a lot of that is with your warriors. Okay, they're hidden for most of the game until that last act. But if you could keep tracking that in your head, you could kind of figure out where the warrior's value is at on the board. If you encounter them throughout the round. And I kind of like that kind of cat and mouse game, trying to figure out the warrior number if you can, while also trying to block the other player from completing the either 3 cross or 3 high. In my plays, which I don't know, it's more than half a dozen, closer to a dozen. I don't really know the exact number. I've noticed that the 3 across is, mainly how it wins. 3 across. It's very rare that I've gotten to 3 high. I think I did once. Or my opponent, I seen it once. And the submission end of it, where the opponent just couldn't make a move, that happened twice. With Jen, actually. The time of it says 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. If you're playing a mini game, maybe I see it closer to 10, especially if you're playing with a gamer. The AP thing could set in there, even though it's just get 3 across or 3 high. There's a lot of moving back and forth, and then you get the surprise action later on, and the fighting action in there. Depending on which mini game you go play, I could see it taking closer to 10 minutes, as opposed to the 5-minute one there. The overall 6th act game, I'm going to say 30 to 40 minutes, baby, on average for me. Again, it depends on the players and how well they know the game, how AP prone they are, stuff like that. But 5 to 10 minutes is for the mini games. Yeah, maybe. The solo game, I've only played that once, and I think that was around 30 minutes, maybe 35. So I can't really comment on the solo game. I didn't play it enough to really comment. I prefer to play 2-player. All right. What else? I do like that. Like I said, these are ever changing each round. They come out in a different pattern, you know. So there's a little variety each round. The fight action is pretty cool. Like I said, you could negotiate it with the revenge tokens if you lost the previous round. So that's always cool that you could negotiate that. And then, you know, there's strategic options in that, you know. You want to fight a opponent's warrior just to get it off the board so they don't make it 3 across, or they can't move of that warrior or something like that. There is a lot of strategy in this game, and the more you play it, the more that'll reveal itself to you, at least if you're like me. Yeah. So I do like that. Let me get my handy dandy notebook out here. Like that, you learn the rules as you go along. The surprise action's pretty cool. Don't really use it that much, mainly because I forget about it. But Jen has a better memory, and she will use it. So that's cool. You know, there's just that one more element of something to do. You know, one more strategic move you can make. But it's only a once an act deal. So that's cool. It's not really that overpowering, but it can win you the round if you play it right. I do like the tightness of the game. Like I said, that back and forth cat and mouse thing. It is a tight game, and I do like. Overall, I do like the game. I do. It's a cool filler game, I guess you could say. With some thought there. There's some crunch, there's some meat there. It's like a lot of the abstract games that I got out of the BGG stores here. There's a lot more meat to them than meets the eye at first. You know, at first you thought this was a, I don't know, tic-tac-toe ripoff or Connect 4, I guess, something like that. But, you know, you could see the complexity in there. You know, although it's not an extremely complex game, there is complexity to it. This was a print and play. It still is actually a print and play. You can get it on BGG, but the publisher Exist Games made a limited print run, which you can only find at the BGG Store and perhaps Exist website. I know they're at the BGG Store though. So if you would like to check this out, it's in store now at the BGG Store, along with, you know, everything else behind me except for Quacks and the crew, but they have Geek Bits for them. So that's it for now. Get gaming, have fun, keep your head up. See you next time. Get me out! If you want to support BGG, go to their website and become a user. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek YouTube website and like their video. Click subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button. Or you could go to the Board Game Geek store, where you'll find board games, promos, accessories, and more. All I am saying is Gift's got some cash.